Welcome, hello, Yasu, and hi. My name is Tai Kölner. I'm an author, I'm a left-hand path traveler, black magician, student of the Order Dragon Rouge, and an empath. So today's video, I will talk about awakening, seek or hide. It's so much talking around whether or not one should seek about awakenings or not. And it is roughly influenced of how you grew up and how you process your life. So I will dig into that a little deeper, out of my opinion, of course. If you want to know something about the order, you find the link below. I'm not your address to ask for this, but I am here to share my perceptions, my experience on my field. So if you want to stay updated, click the link below so to subscribe the channel and not to miss the next video. What is it about awakening? That's a point, that's a quite big point. So I try to keep it short. I will give it another video later, another time. Awakening basically is extending your senses beyond your physical senses. So you can speak of telepathic, you can speak of empathy, you can speak of clear sight, clear view, clear hearing, whatever. This is about what people talking about when they say awakening. Now, not every magician needs to be an empath. Not every empath turns into a magician. That's quite of a choice of life, what you do. And it is also connected to what skills you did develop already. In a before video, I want to pick out one specific, the so-called third eye. The Ajna chakra or Aina chakra is between the eyebrows. In Indian, it's the point where the dot sits. So the castes of the of the Indian cultures, of the Hindu cultures, and it is said that it is the third eye, what implies seeing, but here in our culture, it's less popular. I mean, the word third eye is showing up since several years, but our culture has no root on it. We have seer, we have, in older traditions, we have seer, we have clear sight people, but when you get into the religions space of today, the only thing where you can find it is when you pick down to Garden Eden, the apple. And that's why I often joke about let's bite the apple. But should we seek it or should we hide before opening this third eye? And should we even start to grow this empathies? In Indian culture, it is said that this expanding of your senses starts with the so-called Kundalini. The Kundalini is a big topic. So you have what is the word Kundalini all around us, and not even Earth, but the entire cosmic. And also we got it in our body, or better said, it is resting below at the closest point down of the spine. There is the snake coiled down, and with her head she closes the entrance to your spine. That's about the explaining. And when you get an awakening, it basically means that this snake is slowly uncoiling and climbing up the spine. And so there are several, let's say, steps where it has to pass through. That's some knots. And when it passes through, step by step by step, your senses will open and you will perceive your world in another way. The third eye basically is when the snake reaches this point between your eyebrows. And also there is one, I just say crown, it's the Sahasrara, it's the point here about, when the snake, better said, it's not a chakra, it's more like an opening, it's a connection to the word Kundalini. So why? In Indian culture, it's said if you develop all the steps, you're connecting to the word Kundalini, and you're like, you're like a higher being. You're the guru teaching the people how to open their senses, to get connected, to get more closer connected to everything around you. So yeah, the Vedic culture is old enough, so I give it a trust to exist. Here in our culture, it's we only know the priests of the pre-cults before Christianity. So we know the seer, we know druids, we know magicians in a widest frame, but there is nothing about how to open this energy fields. And even if you say, okay, but there are monasteries, yes, but they did not dig into that because they were forbidden. And I give you the link why I say it was forbidden. When you see the story about Garden Eden, it is said, if you bite into this apple, you will see and you will be able to understand right from wrong. So it is a clear note to, when you bite into the apple, this one opens. So in Christian legends about the Garden Eden, it is forbidden to open the eye. And also because it is the step before opening up to the higher consciousness of the entire existence. If you want to say the overall entity, the energy where we all did grow from, you may name it God too, I name it the dragon. However, in Christian legend system, so-called Bible, you get blocked here to never rise up to see. This is why I say seek or hide. Jein. That's a nice word in German. It includes yes and no. Ja und nein, jein. Because if you make it to open the third eye, then the snake did uncoil. It did crawl up the spine. It did open the senses. And it already is at the energy field what is claimed between the eyebrows. It does not mean that you have vision flash day or night. Seeing can be in a very complex way, from emotions to senses to knowing things before they happen. Seeing can be in a very broad way, but once you saw, you cannot ever make it unhappen. And once the snake started to climb up the spine, so the Sushumna Nadi, as it is in Indian culture, when the Kundalini is riding the Sushumna Nadi, you cannot make it undone. You can try to ignore it, but you cannot make it undone. So if you are not prepared to, and if you are thinking you might not make it. Probably you shouldn't do. Also, when you look back into the Vedic, or in general the meditation practices, always is said, if you do this and if you work on Kundalini work, it is a progress which might take an entire life or even more lives. On the other hand, it can happen by accident. So, as much I was blaspheming before it happened to me, it can happen if you have a car crash. It can happen if you have a near-death experience. It can happen if you just do sports. It can also happen if you do a sound experiment. I did talk about in another video before, and I will dig into sound magic in another video as well. We have time enough to do so. But it is because every energy field, energy is frequency. I know I repeat myself, but energy is frequency. So if you pick the right frequency, be it in talking, be it in sensing, be it in seeing, you are able to open portals. And regarding the Kundalini, it is the portals within yourself. So there are some Christian believers out there who are thinking that rising the Kundalini is some hellish thing leading you to hell. Well, okay, as said, if you're damned to block here, I can understand their fear. And whoever worked with Kundalini meditation, I don't mean this offers you find mostly in Europe for Parship Kundalini, just basically the Kundalini meditation, and you focus on the lower 2 or 3 chakras, you will be surprised how hot this can be. So let's get back to this Christian aspect of hell. Yes, it will be really hot below your feet, so to say. But these fires are not hell. These fires are life. These fires are the power of existence itself. So, okay, but if they think so, I'm an open person. Everyone shall do. But to those people, I especially would say no. Don't even try to, because if this happens, everything what you believe to think it's true, it will burst into nothingness. Because once the senses open, you will see that you are not just a God-made person. You are an entity, you are connected with everything, and even your body is not really a unique thing. It's a compressed energy, as for my opinion. So whatever you will experience, but you will get an awakening what will crush your believing system. So if you're really deeply connected to your believing system, and if you are not willing to be open to other options too, it might not be a good idea. On the other side, this seeing what is claimed in Garden Eden can be a sensing too. And so this makes us adversaries, but not because there is an evil intent to open the third eye. It is because we dare to bite this apple. We dare to want to know good from bad, or right from wrong, or what is happening in future. And considering we are entities using our body like a car, yeah, Um, no, I leave it to you to find out. But there is far more. Because if someone is telling me you may not do so because you could see truth, why does someone want to keep me from knowing truth? This is why I always would choose to seek and not to hide. On the other side, when it happened to me during a sound experiment, um, I faced a big challenge, and many will face big challenges from the very moment when the first chakra opens and when it slowly opens through your entire body, because it may be that you did already work on that in your previous life. It may be that something happens what helps you or supports you to suddenly open energy fields. What is a worst case? Because if you have no one to ask for to support you, and if you are not educated to know how to handle it, then you are in serious troubles. And especially on this third eye, I faced a big trouble. I want to tell you a little story. I was working in a call center, like a back office email support for a website of a customer, whatever. I had to work all my working day at the computer, writing emails to people. So when do my package arrive? Why is the delivery not here? Did my order success? Did my payment arrive? Or sorry, I was late with payment, whatever. A bunch of emails every day. So I cannot even tell how many pages of written stuff I did read every day and reply on that. And I know when this third eye thing started, it was a horror trip to me. It was on one side, I was lucky because I had somebody to support me. I had somebody to teach me up in meditating. I had somebody to teach me up in getting balance in my energy centers. Um, but anyways, my Aina was open for about half a year before I got help. And when I got help, it was a little later. But it was on the 1st of January 2017, so right after Aina opening, that the crown opened. And I will tell you another time, but the crown opening, I can just say it was like a burning lighthouse at the coast standing in a stream, highlight in fire. However, I will tell you another time. For now, this Aina thing, it took about 2 years to get better control about. And now and then it activates by itself. My husband likes to name it unicorn because when he can percept now when my energy fields open, and he says it's like the last unicorn when I start to open my third eye. So and I was working at this back office thing, writing the emails, and when this third eye opens, really opens, and you cannot control it, then you are sitting there and it starts like this, like a shimmering around your head. And you try to read an email. Try to read a sentence. And when you come to the end of the sentence, you think, what the hell did I just read? Let's start again. So this was my working day. And then you want to reply to the customer. And again, you think, what did he want from me? Let's read again. So it was a hard challenge to even do my mundane job. And I totally understand if people say, this is all too much to me, I cannot handle, I cannot even exist anymore this way. I can just say, there is no hiding. So face it. You have to meditate, you have to get control about. You will never get it away, but you can learn how to balance your energy fields, and you can learn how to close your eye. Also, I just give it as a hint, when you're working in a bigger surrounding with people, it's not that easy to explain people, hey, sorry, today I've got an eye opening, I've got a third eye opening today, I'm not in a good mood today. This is nothing working in our society. Maybe you are more lucky than me, but I always said it's an eye migraine. Eye migraine, people know. So if you say eye migraine, people know you are totally blown away, not getting a sentence in a row, and so they know what is happening on. Maybe in future we are a step further, and maybe you can tell I got a third eye opening, and they will understand the same way. But the most people probably react like I did in around 2000, when I said fantasy, when I said housewife, extra work after children are out of house. So just for a marker, eye migraine. Always a good explaining. So why do we do? Shall we hide? Shall we seek? It's all up to you. It is nothing you can prevent. You can consciously not work on Kundalini meditation. You can consciously not work on opening your ajna or your throat chakra or your anahata or whatever chakra you mean. But it still can happen. And it still can happen, especially if you did work before, in another time, in another existence, if you believe in rebirth. So I would say just take it as it is. And no matter what path you are on, if you are just a spiritual who says, yes, I embrace it, and I take responsibility to bite my way through, to meditate, to get my things together, no matter what happens, I want to know, feel free. Feel free to get yourself a good allies to support you on your way. And if you are a dark magician, same way applies. Get yourself somebody who can support you when you're open your senses. If you're just a spiritual trying to connect to trees and nature and your fellow people around, that's fine. If you are a magician, it really helps you to connect to entities, to other beings, to dimensions, to, you know what I want to say. It's really a helpful tool if you can extend your own senses. So this being said, I can give you a clear yin about seek or hide, but I would always say think about it twice, but no fear about. It is a natural thing. It can happen to everybody. We are not used to here, but there are people around who know about. And there are cultures who did it before we even knew how to hold a hammer. So, for example, the Vedic scripts full of stuff who can support you on that, and not be shy to dig into different cultures and religions, because whatever technique you use, it is a technique. You can learn to handle it, you can use to as a support to get control over it, to get balance into it. And How you use your senses, that's all up to you. You can go in a park, hug a tree, or you can go into the attic and summon a demon. In both ways, it is a better control about your senses. You can use the senses what are given, but not given by the physical body, but by the energy body, and you can learn how to work with them. So this for today. I can just say, if you dare, bite the apple.